everybody, welcome back to Apple Travel. I'm so excited to finally get another video out there. Before I get into it, I want to set the stage up. That way you guys are kind of like on the same page and aware of what's going on. So recently we went to San Francisco, and normally when I go and film at a city, I just take the camera equipment. Usually all the editing, like the laptop and stuff, I'll do it back here in the studio. And to my surprise, when I got back, plugged in the camera, for the first day we were there, we lost all audio. And I was like, man, like the project's done. Like I'm not gonna be able to make another video. I'm gonna have to wait like another month before we go somewhere else. But I kind of like watched the video and I was thinking, well, I guess I could do some voiceovers, sound effects and stuff like that. When I checked the second day when we were leaving San Francisco, the audio was working. So what I'm thinking is probably the microphone wasn't plugged into the camera all the way. You're gonna see throughout the video that the words aren't gonna match my mouth most of the time, but it's still kind of roughly what I'm trying to get out there. So we'll be starting our day off at the Zephyr Hotel. What I like about this hotel, which I do recommend to everybody, is that it's in close proximity to Lombard Street, to Pier 33, which is the pier where you take off to the Alcatraz island. So with that being said, let's get on with the show. I think I said something like, finally made it to Pier 39, also known as Fisherman's Wharf, our second stop in San Francisco. Let's go do the tour. Here, Delia and I are gonna grab some lunch at the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, which is towards the back end of Pier 39. When we got there wasn't that many people, which was definitely a good sign since we were on a time crunch. Upon arriving, the server actually sat us down right away with no wait time, which was good. It was really fast, which I was definitely craving some seafood being along the water. If you haven't been here, I definitely recommend you check this out. And if you look over to my left, you see the rest of the dining area for the restaurant, which I can only imagine like on a Friday night what the atmosphere would be like. And to my right, we got the nice window seating where you can look at the water, see the boats passing by, and obviously in the distance out there, you can see the island of Alcatraz. Alright, let me just get some of this gear off really quick. Perfect. From like the 2 times I've actually been here, I've had good customer service. Definitely give the place 2 thumbs up. However, the food does take a little while to get there, but definitely well worth the wait. Delia and I went with a crab and shrimp boil for 2 with the garlic seasoning. And to my understanding, the little sign at the end of your table does have meaning. When you have it on the blue "Run Forest Run," that usually lets the waiter know that everything's good at your table. However, when you turn it over to the red sign where it says "Stop Forest Stop," that's meant to grab the waiter's attention so they can come by and check up on your table. Here it is, crab boil for 2. You got the snow crab, corn on the cob, red potato, sausage, and peel away shrimp, all which you can get with garlic or Cajun seasoning. Damn, that sounds good. Our meal plus the tip came out to $115.79. and it was worth every cent. Wish we would have given ourselves more time to eat. However, we grabbed our leftovers and we made our way to Pier 33, where from Pier 39 it was about maybe a 10-minute walk. However, we had to be at Pier 33 at a set time so we wouldn't miss our boarding for the Alcatraz tour. So much for enjoying our leftovers. If you know, you know. As Delia pointed earlier, it said our departure time was at 3:45. Initially, when we hurried up from the restaurant, we had in mind that it was going to be at 3:30, so we were at about a 15-minute wait. Kind of sucks that we threw away our leftovers. We probably could have walked in with them and had it while we waited.
All aboard!
Just kidding. He didn't really say that. Oh, and I forgot to mention they do ask that you mask up before you get on. Tickets, please. To board, it's a quick QR code scanning on your phone. For 2 tickets, it came out to about $100 for the pair. To board, you can't actually buy your boarding passes there. It has to be done prior. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from when I talked to other people, they've told me they've tried and were unsuccessful. As we got closer to boarding the boat, more and more people started to show up. However, there was still plenty of room on the ship, whether you want to sit on the inside or take the stairs and sit on top of the boat. However, they do recommend you use the restrooms beforehand, which I think they have restrooms on the boat, and I'm sure they're not going to tell you no if you really have to go. However, they recommend it anyway. My recommendation to you is if you get seasick easily, I would sit on the inside of the boat versus sitting on top of the boat. If this isn't an issue for you, like Delia and I would definitely recommend you making your way to the top of the boat where you can sit down, stand up, walk around with amazing views of everything around you. After about a 20-minute boat ride, we finally made it to the island of Alcatraz, where the process of getting off is a little bit slower than getting on the boat. Quick little selfie for the trip, which they didn't have really any restrictions on camera equipment or stuff of that nature, as long as you pretty much respect the boat and the people around you. The first meetup spot on the tour right after you get off the boat is actually right in front of the gift shop, where you have the ranger giving instructions on the tour, what to expect, and rules and regulations, and some history too. And yes, they do have restrooms on the island as well. Unfortunately, this won't be the vehicle giving us the tour on the trip. Actually, we're not going to take any rides at all. We're going to have to walk on our own 2 feet, following signs for where it says Cell House Audio Tour. The ranger mentioned encountering wildlife on the tour, but I don't think exactly this is what he meant. When you plan this trip, do plan for a lot of walking. Do yourself the favor and bring running shoes, maybe a little bit of icy hot for afterwards. But there is going to be a lot of incline to walk, which is the whole trip while you're there. However, there are other means of getting through the incline if you arrange it beforehand, like taking the cart, for instance, for older travelers or anybody that doesn't want to walk. However, I didn't look into how you arrange for that to happen, but if you want to, it is there. According to my Apple Watch, we've taken 34,752 steps on this trip. Finally, we made it. I didn't think we'd ever get here. Here we are walking through the corridor with A block to my left, B block to my right. Let's go check out some cells further down where they have some props in them to make them lifelike. Here, let me see the camera. Welcome to Alcatraz. Man, what an amazing view of the water. And if I'm not mistaken, that's actually the Golden Gate Bridge. And these are 200 of some of the steepest steps you'll take on this tour, so do be careful on this part. And this area coming up is actually closed off because I think this is the wildlife that the park ranger was talking about. So from that point on, we're going to be walking what is the outer perimeter of Alcatraz, which, making our way up, brings us to the side of the prison. One of the better views of San Francisco. This appears to be a watchtower to me. Don't ask me how I know that, with America right next to it. And that about does it. Walking down this ramp leads me back to the entrance where we wait for the boat to come pick us back up. Oh, and I didn't keep track of the time. We kind of just finished the tour. After that, we found the gift shop again, shopped around, and sat on some benches until the boat came back and picked us up. We waited about maybe like 20 minutes or so. And that concludes Apple Travel's tour of the Alcatraz Island. We are back at Hotel Zephyr, waiting to go to the Waterbar here in San Francisco. And instead of driving there ourselves, I got lazy and was tired from the trip, so I ordered a Lyft ride to take us there. Which our Lyft ride there at 8:36 p.m. was about a 10-minute ride for $18.78, and our Lyft ride back at 10:03 p.m., an 8-minute ride, was $39.98. That way you guys know for future reference. Alright guys, good morning. We just checked out of the Zephyr Hotel. We're gonna make one last stop at Lombard Street, see if we can get a couple shots. I don't know if you guys could tell, but the streets are super inclined right now. We're in Delia's 4-cylinder Veloster, so we'll see how this goes. Alright guys, Delia managed to find parking, but we need a parking permit for that spot. We're pretty close by, so I'm just gonna walk over real quick and get a couple more shots. She's kind of guarding the car. If anybody shows up, then she's just gonna come around and pick me up. But yeah, this is walking towards Lombard Street in San Francisco. You can see people walking up. All the cars coming through. So you can see behind me is Lombard Street, one of the most crooked streets in the world. Obviously it's a one-way street. Here comes that Google car, or a car with all kinds of cameras. Alright, we're setting up right here to get Delia driving down Lombard Street. There she goes. Woo!
She did it.
Alrighty guys, that wraps up the San Francisco tour. If you made it this far in the video, thank you, I really appreciate it. And on this trip we spent $686.23. Keep in mind that's not including the cost of gas it took to get to and from San Francisco. And I'll definitely check my camera equipment before we make the next video. And with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see where Apple Travel takes us next.